Math has so little to do and logic has so little to do with healing from betrayal, but sometimes it's just what you need. Yesterday, I had a call with the PPT Institute community. I go in live and answer any questions anybody has. And there was somebody, one of our members, who said, I've been ruminating for years. I've been stuck in stage 3. I'm so sick of it. How do I get out of it? And I said, well, you've had 48 years of practice, so I'm going to throw a little curveball at you, and I want you to just see what's happening here. So she says, okay. I said, you up for it? Yes. Do you have a calculator? Yeah. And she pulls out her calculator on her phone, and I said, let's do this math. Now, keep in mind, if these numbers are wrong, you get the idea. I said, how many years have you been ruminating? I want you to look at this. How many years? And she said 48. So this is way back from it. It started with a family betrayal. So 48 years. And I said, okay, how many? So if it's 48 years, how many days? And she said 7,520 days in 48 years. And I said, okay, how many, if you were to add up the amount of time you've been ruminating, what do you think you'd come up with? And she's like, well, sometimes it's just a few minutes and sometimes it's longer. And so I said, okay, well, what would you give it if you had to give it an amount of time during a day? And she added it up and she said, probably about 2 hours a day. And I think this myth is right there, but the 0.08. So I said, okay, so now 48 years, 7,520 days, 2 hours a day. How many days is that? And we came up with 1,460 days. And I said, okay, 1,460 days. So we know there are 365 days in a year. Let's see, so divided by 365. Let's see now what happens when we do that. And we came up with 4 years. So I told her, take a look at that number. You have essentially taken 4 years of your life dedicated to nothing more than ruminating, nothing more than thinking about this, nothing more than getting sick, sad, stuck, small. Were you any closer at any one of those moments to moving out of stage 3 into stage 4? No. Were you any closer to feeling better after you came out of that rumination, after you've seen the therapist, after you've seen all the other, people trying to help you, after you've been in the support groups? No. So 48 years and when we broke it down, 4 years of your life has been spent dedicated solely to thinking about something that has brought you not 1 inch closer to healing, to transforming, to moving to the next stage that's proven and predictable and waiting for you. I mean, it was a hard hit to the head, but all of a sudden, I saw her face change and she was like, I got it. And I said, here's the thing, without this awareness, you could spend another 48 years if you want to. You could spend another, in total, but another solid 4 years of your life to doing nothing more than ruminating and just to really drive the point home, because I want them to be so furious so they move towards action. What can you do in 4 years? What could you have done? Could you have written a couple books? Could you have gotten a PhD? Could you have started a new business? Could you have started, this completely different personal development track that brought you into a whole new place, a new level of health, a new anything? 4 years. What could you do in 4 years? What could you have done in 4 years, right? When you look at the amount of time spent doing nothing but ruminating. And let me just clarify this. It's not your fault. You didn't know you were stuck in stage 3. You didn't know there was a stage 4 and a stage 5. Remember, healing is entirely predictable. It's when you move through the proven predictable five stages from betrayal to breakthrough. But sometimes you need that kind of frying pan to the head moment. And I hated to give her that. I said, you know, this is tough love, right? I'm giving you so much love because I know how hard this is, but I want you to see it so clearly. Well, let me tell you something. She was fired up after that. So take your numbers. Maybe it's not 48 years, even if it's half. Even if it's half, you've spent 2 then solid years of your life doing no more than ruminating, right? Like where you just remove yourself from the world, saying, I am just going to sit in a cave and ruminate for 2 years. You come out of it and no better, no change, no anything, except sick for sure, because you have symptoms of post-betrayal syndrome. So just want to give you the opportunity to do the numbers. And like I said, logic has very little to do with healing from betrayal, but sometimes it does. And if you do the numbers, see how much time you're spending and let me know. I want to know. Just post a year, 2 years, 3 years, 72 days, whatever it is. I want to know, how much time have you spent ruminating in stage 3, stuck in stage 3, no step closer to stage 4, and are you ready to do something about it? I hope that helps.